Well, hello. Welcome to Dow's Homestead. It's been a long while. Things are starting to pop up here and there, but we're still in winter. March 20th will be the first day of spring, and I've been out here weeding. See all those weeds? But I have a lot of empty beds that need dirt, soil, and all that neat stuff. My greenhouse bit the dust. It definitely bit the dust. It got creamed. My other ones are okay. I planted peas on this arbor. I know it's only the 6th of March, but they should be okay. If we get any really severe weather, I'll just throw a sheet over them, and they'll be fine. But everything is looking pretty dead right now. Pretty dry, and, well, it's wet. The ground's wet, but the onions, they're hanging in there. They're doing their thing. That's onion seeds that I planted, and I'll spread those out later. The poor ostrich ferns aren't awake yet. I saw life on one of them somewhere here. I thought it was this one, but maybe not. I saw some green peeking out on one of them. Nope, not those. Anyway, I did see some green, which is a definite indication that spring has sprung. But they're looking pretty brown right now. I've got arbors set up, the cattle panels to plant on. I'll be putting my beans back here. Lots of beans that'll reach up and touch the sky. Got this tree down. It was a tall tree with a squirrel's nest in the top of it that we had let, it had died. And we just kind of let it stand there for a couple of years. And I talked my son into cutting it down. And believe it or not, he directed it right here. Look how close it is to this arbor. Can you believe that? I mean, that's like really close. But it didn't hit it. So we have these two arbors here. The banana trees all died back, which they come back up every year. So they'll be coming up. There's a pile of banana leaves. These are some flowers coming up. I'm not even sure what they are, if they're voodoo lilies. I don't think so, because those come up in August. So these must be, who knows, spring lilies or something? I don't know what they are. I forget. This is the catnip down here. The cage got smushed, so we'll have to put it back into round. I went ahead and laid this down to start killing off some of the stuff underneath it. Small stuff that's starting to grow, like over here, you can see it. All the little small weeds. Those come up first. You can see them down in there. And they'll take over if you let them. Or you can drown them out, cover them up, and they go away. These are the blueberry bushes, and they've got buds. So they'll be here for another couple of years at least, maybe 10 or 20. We got some more trees cut down out back, further back. It's not an area that we normally plant, but it's part of the property that I have fenced off to keep the deer out. Lots going on back here to clear this out. Get more sunshine in. There's a tree that needs to come out right there. And another one over there. They fall during the winter. Then we clean them up in the spring. Got a water catchment going on right here. My son has that going on. His son's greenhouse held up pretty good. Cattle panel greenhouse. Through the winter, it survived. This used to be the mulch pile and the branches and trees and stuff. And my son burnt a bunch of it out. And he put some soil in there and he's going to plant his plants there. Some of his important plants. There's my grandson's greenhouse. It held together pretty good. With his cardboard floor. Lord have mercy. I think he needs some mulch or something in there. Back here, I have, it's small and you can barely see it, but that is a pawpaw tree. And there's another one right here, which the top of it is broken, but they should be okay. I look forward to having pawpaws one of these days. My persimmon trees that I planted on the other side have never done anything. And they're probably, I don't know, 5 years old, 6 years old. But one of them is right here at the end of this panel. That one. And the other one is right here. And I have yet to see a persimmon on them. American persimmon. Notorious for growing in Ohio. The grapes over here are still trying to get started. They're up and about, climbing over the arbor. Kind of a wet area. I don't know if they'll do any good or not. This is where I usually plant my garlic. Right in here. And chives, which are right there. That's the chives. And I also have garlic chives on over. And there's some onions and things in here. But it all needs cleaned out. I see some grass in there that's got to come out. Lots of work. Spring has almost sprung. And once it does, all this stuff will get taken care of. In the meantime, this is what's left of the bee balm. It went to seed. And down here, I have horehound, which is right there. I don't know if you can see those, but that's horehound. It's doing good. There's some thyme. And some little brown jugs. It's got a nice looking leaf right there. And they get these little jugs. It looks like little jugs on them. Kind of cool looking. Where is it at? Over here. Yeah, they don't have any jugs on them yet, but they will. I've got a couple of those growing. Spring is not my favorite time of year because there's so much work involved. But it gets done. This used to be my celery bed, but I'm going to plant the celery down in the wet spot. It should do much better there. That's my peony that gets really big and beautiful. Those are blueberries there. There's more blueberries right there. And then the blueberries I showed you earlier. This is my daughter's patch that she has down through here. She has a arbor or a cattle panel, and then we have the cattle panel over here that I like to grow cucumbers or beans. And then we have fencing here, all along here, that we also grow beans or peas or whatever needs to climb. This is my daughter's area back through here, and it's looking a little bit rough. Every year it looks really rough in the spring, but we'll get out here and get it done. All those lids. Ugh. So many things. This is one of my green stalks. As you can see, it's all dead. Although there's some sage right here that's actually alive. I don't remember planting sage in there, but I guess I did. Go figure. There's a hole, I'll plant it. These were some tomatoes that probably have some viable seeds in them. They're all dried up. This is another green stalk that I've just let go. And this was destroyed. This is the greenhouse that I really liked. And it bit the dust. But I have this one. This one's fine. And as you can see from inside, it's a mess. That's where everything gets tossed in the wintertime that I'm trying to either save or do something with. Oh, I've got some strawberries down here. I didn't know I had those in buckets. Well, nice. I'll have to weed those out and take the dead stuff out and get those going. And there's some flowers coming up over there, some irises, and down here. And then my fruit trees are back here. This is a pear. This is an apple. Oh, by the way, if you don't know what to do with an Elizabethan collar, use them on your trees. Keeps the squirrels out. This is peach, and this is a peach. I have 2 peach trees here, and they are budding. And then there's another pear tree over there in that box, which really they don't need the boxes anymore. They would be fine without the boxes around them. But we put the boxes in the original design. This is a cherry tree, and it doesn't do well. I'll probably end up taking that one out. And these come back every year. And they're reseeding. Lots of seeds there. And this patch is the daylilies, which I'm walking in. Not too smart. These buckets back here, sometimes I put sweet potatoes in them. And sometimes not. I think this year I will. Back here, we planted probably 1,000 bulbs last year. All this stuff is new coming up. We just dug the whole area out and replanted. I had so much spiderwort, it was getting uncontrollable. So we planted lots of pretty flowers. That's the pond, which we don't have the aerator in there, the fountain going right now. But we planted all this area back here. Need to pull back some leaves. I did today plant a row of peas right here on this arbor. So keep an eye out for those. This is a cactus garden, which doesn't need a whole lot of water. and I keep it covered in the wintertime. And these are some herbs in here that I keep covered. They're right in here. And they do good in there with the covering on it. We have comfrey growing over there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me get a little closer. That's comfrey growing in there. Makes good fertilizer for the plants. Pull some leaves off and throw them down. Chop and drop. Good stuff. Got a lamb's ear growing up right there. I got a poppy coming up. Another poppy over here. Little tiny thing. Got a tree branch in here. It's got to come out. And mostly just flowers in here. And the roses and stuff over here. These are native wildflowers that are in here. And there's a chicken over there hobbling around. There's a whole bunch of them somewhere. They're hiding. But anyway, I am going to do the unthinkable. I'm going to plant some things that normally you don't plant until after the last freeze. I'm going to go ahead and plant some out because I have extra seeds. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a chance. I did it one year and I was successful. I had tomatoes, and big tomatoes, by July 4th and even before then. And I think I'm going to do that again just because I can. Those are tulips coming up in that box. And that poor pond needs a whole lot of help. That truck right there is the rooster coop. When we get too many baby roosters, we raise them in there until we find them homes. Keep them apart from the hens so that they're not so disruptive. Each rooster needs at least 10 hens. And I have a perfectly good rooster that takes care of his girls, so I don't need others. And over here, we see the lavender. It survived the winter. It's only a 1-year-old plant. It survived. That's the, not columbine. What are those? Maybe. I forget. Anyway, strawberries are still alive in this green stalk. They did all right. And I guess that's about it. So for now, I'll sign off and talk to you later. Bye-bye.